What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Nick, and for those of you who are new, I know we've got a lot of new subscribers, so thank you for hitting that subscribe button. We're stoked to have you here. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. We make new videos every Monday, and they're always exciting, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. We want you along for the ride. Now today, we're back over at the warehouse working on the 240. And per usual, we left it down to the last minute, and we need to get the whole interior and hopefully the engine bay stripped out for the fabrication work that's gonna be done when I drop it off with Hunter next weekend. So let's go ahead and get to it. So before we actually get started working on the car today, I want to give you guys just a rundown of all the part updates and kind of where the car is at and what's the timeline for getting this going here. So I've been working on piecing together all the body parts that I need to get the car painted once we get the cage inside of it. So as I mentioned in a previous video, we've got a 4-piece kit coming for the car, so front and rear bumper and side skirts. That's on its way. I still need to order a hood and fenders. That'll complete all the body parts that I need. I have the headlights and tail lights all on order, as well as the turn signals, corner lights, everything like that for the front end, grille, all that stuff is on its way. So look forward to sharing with you guys what I actually got there. As far as the inside of the car, because we are putting the cage in it, we needed to know where the seats would be sitting so we could actually match the harness bar up to where the seats would be positioned and have the harness actually sit at the correct angle so that it's safe. So I have 2 seats on the way, Street Faction seat brackets. So Hunter's gonna do the cage as well as a custom core support bar up here and tubbing the fender. So the core support is mainly to make it easier to put the engine in and out. With it being a drift car and that kind of thing, we'll probably have it in and out more than the usual car. So we'll go ahead and clean this up, make it look a little bit cooler, but also make it easier to pull that engine in and out, just kind of straight out the front when everything's detached versus trying to pull it up and over this core support. As far as tubbing the fenders, A, I like how it looks. B, whoever had the car previously cut some really janky holes down in there. It just doesn't look good, and so for the quality of build that I'm going for, I don't want to look at it. So we're going to tub the fenders. So we're going to drop the car off with Hunter next weekend to start working on tubbing the fenders, that core support, as well as the cage. And then from there, hopefully have that done by the end of February and drop the car off for paint in March. So those are the quick rundown of the updates. I'm stoked to get going on this build. So let's start getting into it for today. So as you can see, it's quite a mess inside here. So we're gonna go ahead and start pulling out all these trim pieces here, the battery relocation wire, airbag wire, seat belts, start sorting out the stuff that we're not gonna be using or putting back in the car, and then kind of labeling different pieces of the harness up here so we know what they go to and make it easy to put it back in the car once the cage is all in and it's painted inside here. Major update, we got the whole back end stripped out of all the trim and wires. The whole headliner's out. So we're just dealing with the mess up front now. So we've got all the wiring out of here, and we're working on getting the crash bar, not the crash bar, the dash bar out, so we can start pulling all these pieces off. The goal is to get everything out of the interior. Alright, so we got the whole crash bar out. So the last thing we actually need to do is get all of this stuff out that goes behind the dash so that we can pull up the sound deadening behind there. One thing I'm trying to figure out is all this aftermarket wire that I believe is for the alarm system. Figure out what of that is not necessary. But we're almost there with getting the interior stripped down. Alright, time for a late lunch break. We're going to take you guys along for the ride and we'll be right back. So every time I come over here and work on the car, I usually go to the same place and get some fish and chips, so it's tradition. Gotta do it again. All right, we're back from our food break. Now, unfortunately, I think once again, I overestimated what we could actually get done in the time that we had today. So the goal now is to just finish up the interior and have it ready that we can do the sound deadening removal next weekend. So this will be a bit of a 2-part video. So the goal is to wrap up what we have here So get all of this stuff out along the firewall. So that's all cleared out. And then next weekend, we'll pull out all the sound deadening in the floor pan back here and have that all ready for the cage and paint work when we eventually paint the inside of the car. But we're gonna go ahead and get to it, try to wrap this up and be on our way. So as I'm tearing this car apart, you're probably wondering, hey, does he actually know what he's doing? The answer is no, I don't. This is my first time really building a car from the ground up like this. So this is a learning experience for me. One of the big things I'm focusing on to make sure that this build goes well is staying organized. So as we tore the car apart today, one of the things that I worked on was keeping all the bolts organized. So I went to Harbor Freight and picked up this guy here. And what I'm doing is like for this one, these are all, we'll focus. Well, it's not focusing very well, but that says interior. So these are all bolts and nuts from the interior, and then I've just gone ahead and labeled them all on top from where they came from. So doing this for all the stuff that I'm going to be putting back in the car, so it's really easy to figure out what goes where and make sure it gets put back together correctly. And I've got 4 different ones of those, so we'll probably have 1 or 2 for the interior, 1 for the engine bay, that kind of stuff. But this will help me keep organized and make sure the job gets done right. All right, we're back with the 240 for day 2 of the cage prep, and I'm just gonna start calling this channel Late Per Usual Media because I swear to God, every time I work on this car, I am never starting when I wanted to. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the sound deadening out, picked up some dry ice after going to a couple different places to find it, pull that out, get the car ready, and put it on the trailer to tow it back to Hunters. So let's go. All right, so we got the dry ice laid down on the sound deadening on the passenger side of the car. Got it all broken up. So what happens when you put the dry ice in here like this is that as it sits on this, it starts to separate the actual sound deadening adhesive portion from the car. So I can actually hear it kind of starting to crackle and pop. And I've been told that it should be pretty easy to pull up in larger pieces once it sits on there for a long enough time. One thing that I actually just saw as well is that if you mix the dry ice with isopropyl alcohol into somewhat of a paste, you can spread it more evenly and actually pull it up. So if this doesn't work, we'll try that. Well, if I hadn't already, I've definitely passed the point of no return on this thing. We're going full race car, boys. So the sound deadening is pulled out on this side here. Got most of it out of there, getting the last little bits in the corner. Need to start getting this piece here, and we've got it sitting on the back seat as well. So it's time for a race car, boys. Oh yeah, this one's gonna be a good one. Love when you get those big pieces, makes it go way faster, and looks like the rest of it might come up in a second big piece. Well, it's been a while since the last update. The car is pretty much stripped now. Got a good deal of weight reduction over here. It's probably like 25, 30 pounds easily. So that's sweet. Got the whole car stripped out and the whole floor pan, the back seat. The only little bit that I have left is on this back kind of upright portion of the seat where you couldn't actually have ice just sitting on it. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave that for the time being because I gotta get the car over to Hunter's shop and I'm about an hour and a half away. So I'm gonna get the car to Hunter's shop tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow come through Hunter Shop, pull out all this harness, get this off the firewall here so I can finish getting the last bit of sound deadening, and then we're good to go on the cage. All right, so now that the car is good to go, I need to go ahead and get the van and trailer lined up, get the car on the trailer, and get on my way. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the trailer over here, open the garage door, get the van in and all lined up, and let's get to it. All right, finally the car is all loaded up. It's about 6:30, so hoping to get to Hunter's shop a little before 8. So let's go ahead and get on the road. All right, so it's actually turned into a 3-day process to get this cage prep done. We're gonna head over to Hunter's shop. I got the car delivered there last night, but it was dark and I was in a hurry, so I didn't get to film any of that. Got the radiator and front mount intercooler loaded up behind me, so we're gonna go ahead and head over there. We'll time travel and see you there. All right, so we're back. We're in the car at Hunter's shop. So the first thing I need to do is work on the wiring harness on the firewall. So as you can see, there's still the wiring harness there. So we're gonna go ahead and pull all of that out, pull the mat off the firewall. That's gonna clear up the room that Hunter needs to weld in plates for the cage, as well as get the last of the sound deadening off so it's all ready for paint when Hunter's done. So we got all the wiring harness out, pulled the stock engine harness from this side and removed all the mat on the firewall. So we're good to go there. Now, the next thing we need to do is pull out all of the sound deadening that's on here, clean up the edge, clean up any of the spots like this one, where the cage is gonna mount, up here where the intrusion bar is gonna mount, all that stuff, and basically just clean kind of around the whole car for seam sealer, get the last bit of sound deadening off back here, and get ready for the cage to go in later this week. All right, ran out to grab some new wire wheels because I bought Harbor Freight ones and they got destroyed. I had to pick up some essentials, keep us going. And this is why you don't buy a Harbor Freight wheel, a wire wheel, or anything that moves. So this is what it looked like after, like, not even that long, probably 30 minutes, 40 minutes working on the car. This is what it is supposed to look like. So lesson learned. As I was having these things flung at me and stuck in my legs. Don't do it, not worth it. A quick little update in the car. So we're making some good progress. We've got the seam sealer stripped out all along the edge over here. Got that front area cleared for the cage, and then the anti-intrusion bar up front. Got all the sound deadening almost stripped out back here. Just need to get that one little corner up there. And then working on the seam sealer around this edge. So once we get all the seam sealer out and clean up all the adhesive from the sound deadening, then we're gonna go ahead and pull out this stuff here, this piece and this piece, because the cage will actually mount there so it can go against the strut tower. But we're gonna go ahead and get back to it. Unfortunately, there's so much shit flying around in here with the wheel spinning. I just don't have the camera out. So give you guys an update in a little bit. We're just about there, but this isn't even the worst of it. We vacuumed like 4 times already, but this is why the camera's not in the car. Because it looks like it rained sawdust and coffee everywhere. But that's all just the sound deadening and seam sealer. So we're gonna do one more vacuum. But as you can see, we got all the sound deadening off the floorboard area and up kind of under the dash. And we finished just a little bit over there under the pedals, and we should be good to go. Well, I'm an idiot and I didn't film when I was actually done with what I was talking to you guys about in the last clip. So you didn't get to see the car all finished up, but it is done on the inside. Everything is stripped out of it. It looks great. And Hunter's actually gonna be getting started on the cage process tomorrow as you guys are watching this video. So I am super stoked. This is a big step forward. I realized while I was working on the car this weekend that I've actually had the car for a little over 2 months now. So I'm definitely bummed out that I haven't made more progress in those 2 months, but we're getting going now and that's all that matters. So once Hunter finishes up the cage, I'm waiting on a body kit and a few other exterior parts to get the car painted. car's getting painted inside and out. I've got a sick exterior color picked out. I cannot wait to show it to you guys. Still trying to decide on what I want to do on the interior of the car. If you've got an idea, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, parts are starting to stack up. My seats came in this week. Got a front mount intercooler, radiator. I ordered harnesses for the car and a bunch of other little parts to really get this project going, but it is officially underway. If you're stoked for more 240 content, hit that like button, throw us a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. We make videos every Monday, and you know there will be more 240 content. But that's all we've got for you guys this week. Do me a favor, go out and enjoy a nice drive this week, and we'll see you next week.